aka Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Chuck Armstrong will start the second race. He'll lead for a few laps, but then Ken Schrader will... No! He goes airborne on lap 169. But then Rusty Wheelhouse will wreck 6 more cars after Ken Schrader this race. Misty Motocross would end up winning the second race. The very next race, Larry Smith will start at pole position for the third race. He'll lead for a few laps, but then now he's out because of Dale Earnhardt, who will lead for 345 laps. And now he wins the third race. The fourth race is started by Krusty Rotor, who will only lead for 2 laps, and Cole Speedland will be out for 4 races because of an engine failure. The King will almost win the 4th race, but lose very narrowly to Davey Carlson, who will win the 4th race. Next race, Matthew Field Wheel will... Wait, what? Matthew Field Wheel will start at pole position. What's less weird is that he's out for the season because of Kyle Traxon, who is put down 3 laps because of this. Eugene Karbareski is out for 6 races because he gets crashed by Rusty Wheelhouse, who will lead until lap 224 for 19 grueling laps. WJ Lights is 10th as of lap 224, where he'll crash Alloy Wilson, who will be out next race. And Alloy is not happy about that. Clint Shiftwright will win the 5th race. 6th race is started by Davey Carlson, who starts at pole position, but then Billy Oilchanger will go airborne on lap 221. And that's caused by Rusty Wheelhouse again, who will only lose by 7 feet, losing to Clint Shiftwright, who will win the 6th race. Andrew Axler will start the 7th race. He'll lead for a few laps before Terry Carboni will take the lead and lead for 308 laps out of the entire race. But then Alloy Wilson will be 8th as of lap 335, where he'll crash WJ Lights, Kyle Traxon, Murray Clutchburn, Krusty Rotor, Jonathan Melcher, and Johnny Blamer. Chick Hicks, while he's suspended, will react to this crash. Yes, yes. Terry Carboni will almost win the 7th race, but in the end, he'll lose to the pole sitter, Andrew Axler, who will win the 7th race, his first win in a while. Dale Carrett will start at pole position for the 8th race. He'll lead for a few laps, but then Rusty Wheelhouse is 6th as of lap 341, where he'll actually wreck Dale Earnhardt? He wrecks Dale Earnhardt! And then Clint Shiftwright will win the 8th race. Clint's father, Craig, will start the 9th race. He will lead for a few laps. But then, John Hicks is 23rd as of lap 197, where he'll crash Mike Yankee. He's now out for the season! But luckily, Mike Yankee is still alive. John Hicks will be suspended for the rest of the season for what he did. Chick Hicks' reaction is, "That's my little brother!" Clint Shiftwright will end up winning this race. He also wins by quite a lot. Alloy Wilson will start the 10th race. He'll lead for a few laps, and WJ Lights is 4th as of just lap 1, and then Neil Brackett will T-bone Alloy Wilson, who is now out for 5 races, and Larry Smith out for 4. The King says this to WJ Lights. Jonathan Melcher is 8th as of lap 172, where he'll wreck Clint Shiftwright. Misty Motocross will win the 10th race. Misty Motocross would also win the next 2 races, making her win 3 races in a row. But Ernie Swerven will get pole position for the 13th race. He'll lead for a while, but then Chick Hicks will be 5th as of lap 244, where he eliminates every car except 3. Nick Charger and Will Drafter flipped in the big one, and of course Ernie Swerven went airborne. The King didn't get caught in the big one, neither did Alan Karwicki or Chuck Armstrong. Chick Hicks would be suspended for 5 races for causing the big one. Chuck Armstrong would lose by 35 feet in this race, and then he'll of course lose to the King, who would win the 13th race. The 14th race is started by Murray Clutchburn, who actually got caught in the big one. He'll lead for a few laps, but then Kyle Traxon is 17th as of lap 138, where he'll crash Dave Laney and Brush Kerber will be out for the season. And now Kyle Traxon will be suspended for 20 races for his actions. Dale Carrett is out on lap 238, same with Terry Carboni because they crashed into each other. Larry Smith would win the 14th race with a 100-foot cushion. Dale Earnhardt will lead for 385 laps, including pole, of the 15th race, which he wins. Hall Ingus will end up starting the 16th race, but then the King will end up leading for 2 laps with his eyes closed. Jonathan Belcher will T-bone his rival Cole Speedland on lap 281, and now he's out. WJ Lights will get Alloy Wilson into the catch fence, and Alloy Wilson goes into the catch fence, which makes him miss 6 races. I feel bad for Alloy Wilson, but not as bad because WJ is my crew chief. Besides, Clint Shiftwright would win the 16th race, that catch fence race. The 17th race starts with Davey Carlson at pole position, but then Rusty Wheelhouse will take the lead and cause a crash that eliminates 21 cars! And now Clint Shiftwright will win the 17th race. Wait, what? WJ Lights will start pole position for the 18th race. Good job, WJ. And now he's out because of Ron Blaster. Why? And he only leads for a bit because Mark Carton would take the lead from him. He'll lead for these laps shown here. And he'll almost win the 18th race. But in the end, he comes second to Clint Shiftwright, who will win the 18th race. Yet another victory for him. Billy Oilchanger will take the lead, will start pole position for the 19th race. But now he's out for the season because of Chick Hicks, who will be suspended for another 5 races. Rusty Wheelhouse will win the 19th race, which means that he didn't cause any crashes. Ruby Easy Oaks will start at pole position for the 20th race, but then Eugene Karbareski will be 8th as of lap 157, where he'll flip Mark Landis, who goes airborne and lands 70 yards away. Andrew Axler led more laps than the winner. That winner is Clint Shiftwright, who led fewer laps than Andrew Axler, but he still won. Ken Schrader would start at pole position for the 21st race, but he'll quickly lose the lead to David Carlson, who would lead for... Oh, he accidentally spins out, which involves 18 cars. Craig Shiftwright will win the 21st race for simply not being caught in the spin-out crash. Misty Motocross will start at pole position for the 22nd race, and Claude Scruggs, he's 31st as of lap 76, where he'll eliminate 8 cars, including himself. Rusty Wheelhouse will eliminate 15 cars! But sadly, Jack Spinner will have to enter an early retirement. Misty Motocross almost won the 22nd race, but in the end, Murray Klotchburn wins the 22nd race. Chuck Armstrong will start pole position for the 23rd race. Johnny Blamer is out on lap 58 because he spun out. Alloy Wilson is 5th as of lap 103, where he'll crash WJ Lights. And Dale Earnhardt will lead for 286 laps. Misty Motocross will win the 23rd race. And also, here's Claude Scruggs reacting, and he didn't even qualify for that race. Michael Carchip will surprisingly start at pole position for the 24th race. What's a bit more accurate is that Rusty Wheelhouse will be 16th as of lap 268, where he'll crash Ryan Thunderbolt Jr., who's out for the season! WJ Lights is 9th as of lap 329, where he'll crash Alloy Wilson again! But this time, he's out for 4 races. Bill Rayslaw will end up almost winning the 24th race, but in the end, he'll lose to Misty Motocross, who wins yet again. The very next race, Misty Motocross wins again! Oh! Again! 25th and 26th races! Wow, Misty Motocross is really good this year. And also, Ernie Gearson will start pole position for the 27th race, but Rusty Cornfield will lead for 256 laps, but quickly lose the lead to Andrew Axler, who will almost win the 27th race. But in the end, Chick Hicks has to win the 27th race. At least Sterling Carlin will start pole position for the 28th race. Let's see what happens here. Dale Earnhardt will lead for 375 laps. And he wins. But that's better than Chick Hicks winning. Neil Brackett will end up starting the 29th race, where he leads, but Alloy Wilson is 6th as of lap 31, where he of course crashes WJ Lights. But also Neil Brackett, who's out next race. Rusty Wheelhouse only lost by 5 feet that race, but in the end, he loses to Ernie Gearson, which I'm glad he won the 29th race, because he wouldn't have won any other races this season if he didn't. Andrew Axler will start pole position for the 30th race, but Daryl Dragger is 37th as of lap 89, crashes into Ivan Yoder, who is now out for the season! And Mark Carton will almost win this race, but surprisingly lose to Alan Karwicki, who will win the 30th race this year. Hall Ingus will start the 31st race. He'll leave for a few laps, but then now he's out because of Rusty Wheelhouse, who will leave for 300 laps! But then, WJ Lights is 11th as of lap 306, where he'll crash his rival, Alloy Wilson, who's out next race. The King will win the 31st race, pretty much dominating the second half of the race. Davey Carlson will start at pole position for the 32nd race, but then Chick Hicks will be 23rd as of lap 163, where he'll crash Jeremy Carfield and Darren Ledfoot, ending their season, and also Brian Johnson, who will have to miss the first 5 races of next season. And also, Chick Hicks will be suspended for almost killing him for the rest of the season. Eugene Karbareski will almost win the 32nd race, but in the end, Clint Shiftright will win the 32nd race. The very next race, the King will start at pole position, where he'll lead for the first few laps before Larry Smith will lead, and now he's out for 2 races because of an awful crash. Misty Motocross will almost win the 33rd race, but in the end, the King will still win the 33rd race. The very next race, the King will come second to Dale Carrett for the pole. He'll lead for the first few laps, but then Kyle Traxon will win the 34th race after wrecking Dale Carrett. Mark Carton will luckily start at pole position for the 35th race, but Sammy Smelter is 36th as of lap 48, and Sammy Smelter! That's gross! Worse than 1987! And James Robson is now considering retirement. Kyle Traxon sadly wins the 35th race. But Kenny Shiftright came second that race. As you can see, Misty Motocross is on the top. She can compete with Clint Shiftright, the King, and Dale Earnhardt for the Piston Cup. Davey Carlson and Rusty Wheelhouse are somehow mathematically in it. These two, Andrew Axel and Mark Carton, came close, but not close enough to be able to mathematically win the Piston Cup this season.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.